Good afternoon, good evening. Apologies for that. Just want to double check whether I'm audible.
Yes, you are
Yes,
audible.
you are audible.
Okay, thank you very much, Clara, for that. Good evening, colleagues. Welcome to the class. I think this is for tutorial relating to study unit number 9. My name is Grant Sihlemkize. You can call me Sihle or Grant. I will be presenting today, and my co-presenter will be Tulani. I believe some of you have just heard me just calling his name, so we will be able to co-present. But however, I will be starting to the presentation on this study unit, colleagues. So I do understand that some of you they are not only doing this module, they also have other classes. So we're gonna try by all means that we explain as much as we can, and we also make sure that we don't find that maybe some of the topics or questions are not being covered in this platform at this point in time. So I'm just gonna fly it in my my slides. I just want to get a confirmation if everybody can able to confirm that they can able to see the question. And just assist me on your side, Tulani, since you will be able to see the people that are raising hand. If maybe you can just confirm whether you can able to see the question.
Yes, yes, Sihle, I
Yes.
can see the charts, and then also your screen is visible. We can see. If
Okay.
maybe you can enlarge a bit so that we can read it.
Okay, so is it fine now?
It's fine now, but you just
Okay.
reduce it again. Can you just do it again?
Okay, let me make it maybe. Let's see how it look like. Okay. Is it fine if it's
yeah,
100?
yeah, it's fine. 100. Yeah, we can
Okay.
read.
So maybe just before I started, colleagues, so we will, as I indicated to you, we will try by all means that we explain as much as we can to make sure that you do understand this topic, which is relating to data's control account. So I'm not sure whether maybe from Clara's side, whether do we have anything to say before we begin, or we can just start. Okay. It's as if maybe she will come back to us. So, colleagues, let me just not waste any time. So, I believe you were sent this question, or you are quite aware about this question that will be discussed today, which is dealing with trade and other receivable. So, for me, I always, whenever I'm looking at the question, uh, take the question as if I am looking, as if I'm writing the exam. So I'm just going to go through with you the question first. And then from there, if ever maybe there's anything that you need a clarity on, you can raise the hand. My colleague Tulani will able to stop me and say maybe you can able to come in, or else you can also just put your question on the chat box, and then as soon as we finalize, then we can go through all the questions that are on the chat box. So without wasting any time, as I indicated, that I know that some of you, they're not only just doing this module, they also have other modules that they are doing. So basically, colleague, in the high level, you know that trade and other receivable is forming part of your current asset under statement of financial position. So it is one of the topic which is very important for students, especially in this module, which is FEC 1502, to able to understand that businesses, they do trade, and businesses, they not only do business, or do business or make sale of goods and services or on credit. I always make an example of you having an account at Macams or Truett, where you do have an account there, which means you are purchasing clothes on credit at the end of the month. You do the monthly payment. Obviously, at end of the year, at the end of the month, the accountant for Truworths Home account, they do have a control account that consolidates all the client's account into a consolidated balance. So I'm just want to give you a nutshell in terms of like in practical, just to understand that whatever that we're going to be covering today, it's something that you are getting used day by day, every time in your life. Uh, Businesses, they're not only operating only on the cash basis, they do sell on credit. So in this situation, colleagues, in the study unit number 9, the name of the company here, it's a smart boutique. So whenever you are starting a question, I always advise colleagues that whenever you are going to attempt the question, you first start by looking at a required first. So in this situation here, we are being asked to prepare the correct and the properly balanced trade receivable control account for smart boutique for December 20.1. So basically, that is the period that is specifying for you in this particular month that you need to prepare this control account or under trade receivable. So from there, when you start, you need to already to visualize yourself whenever you're on the question, especially when you are doing any question. That's okay. Now I'm doing the trade receivable control account. So what are the things that's supposed to be there and what are the things that not supposed to be there? So first of all, if you look at required A, we are asked to correct uh, the, the, the control account. So the first thing that you just see, just before you go through your additional information, you first look to see, okay, are all the things that are on this T account actually supposed to be here? Like for instance, first of all, the balance brought down, which is the balance which was a closing balance of 30 November 2021. Now it's a opening balance of 16,095. So obviously, you know that because it's an asset, the balance must always be on the debit side because it's an asset. Now, another thing that you picked up is you see that there is a payment of trade receivable, which means the people that were purchased goods on credit, they made a payment. But when they make the payment, what does it mean? It means that now, instead of them owing us, now they are owing us less. So in other words, if they were if they purchase goods on credit, say by 100,000, and then now they are making a payment of 70,000. So therefore, that means the balance that will be outstanding in a nutshell, that means it will be 30,000 because of your 70,000 will be paid. So obviously, in order to decrease an asset, you credit it. So definitely, this amount of the bank is supposed to be moved to be on the credit side, which means it's supposed to be belonging to the side. So now, at least now at the high level, now you can able to know that okay, this actually it's not supposed to be there. I remember, colleagues, I even just touched the question. I'm just looking at things that's supposed to be there. Okay, below that, I can see that they say settlement discount granted. Okay, when they say settlement discount granted, it means part of this receivable, this has already been considered. So that means there's nothing else that you have to reflect it again. And then they give you credit sales, as we indicated that obviously we've got credit sales. They indicated that it's 48,165. Obviously, the way it's been shown or displayed or disclosed, it is correct because the credit sales, you show them on the debit side because the journal entry, it will be you debiting the receivable, which is credit sales of 48,000, and then you crediting sales because sales can be credit, can be also be cash. So this means that this entry is correct. Uh, Below that, colleagues, you see you've got drawings. So obviously, in your mind, you already know that drawings not supposed to be forming part of the trade receivable because remember this one, it's something which shows under your owner's equity on your share capital. So definitely, these things not supposed to be part of on your account. And then below that, you go to purchases returns. Obviously, we are not dealing with a cost of sales account or inventory account here. So definitely anything relating to purchases should not form part of it. Because remember here, the question is that it's saying to us, we do need to do to correct the properly balanced trade receivable account. So this is what is very pivotal to us to make sure that we look into that. So you've already so you already identified that obviously we've got purchase return, and purchase return normally they don't form part of the a trade receivable. On your credit side, when you just look at it, remember now you are on the exam. You are just highlighting things that must be there. You are highlighting things that not supposed to be there. So you've got sales return. Obviously, whenever there's a sales return, which means obviously there is a reduction on your debtors, because it may happen that maybe you've overcharged someone, or it may happen that they've returned certain goods, therefore they no longer needed it. So instead of having that balance on the from the 48,000, if someone is returning it as a sales which were on credit, obviously the correct entry is that the sales return they should be on the credit side. And then below that, you see that they say that there's a credit purchases. Obviously, we know we are not dealing with purchases. We are not dealing with cost of sales. We are not dealing with inventory. Therefore, this is not supposed to be forming part of that. And below is the cash purchases, which is also we can take and say, look, this must not be there. And then after that, they indicate that there was a settlement discount received. Now, when you see the word settlement discount received, now it's so like the word it says, like it indicates to you that that means us as a smart boutique, we purchased, and then obviously we are get, and then the supplier gave us the settlement discount. So obviously this is not supposed to form part of the trade receivable. So therefore, you also have to tick this one as indicating that this should not form part of it. And then below that, they show you a bank which is relating to the total trade payable column. Obviously, this amount is actually, it also indicates that actually, because this bank is relating to trade payables, it's supposed to be on the creditors account, creditors control account, not on trade receivable account. So indeed, now you can just know that, okay, my closing balance, which is the current balance of 70,587 rand, actually is incorrect. So I think this is what I just want to just give you a narrative before we go through additional information whenever you are going through a question, just to have a picture of knowing that exactly what are things that's supposed to be relating to trade receivable, because trade receivable, it means we are selling it on credit. Definitely we must have sales. Definitely there will be cash sales. There will be credit sales. There will be sales return. There will be a settlement discount that will be granted to those debtors that are paying us on time, in case if maybe our stipulation is saying that we want them to pay within 30 days and then they pay before that, then we grant them that particular discount. So without wasting any time, colleagues, I'm just going to go to the additional information. So if you look at item number 2.1, it's indicated to you that actually the person that was preparing this control account is an inexperienced bookkeeper. So obviously, if you look at above, it does agrees with to say actually this person actually just put everything together, stuff that's supposed to be there, but actually it was clouded together. Therefore, that means we have to do some correction. So I'm just going to go down now to item number 2.2, which got a bullet point that will narrate to what is on the T account. So I'm just going to a little bit reduce the size so that we can able to visualize the T account, as well as also to go through the items on the bullet point. So on the first bullet point, we are just told that the trade receivable balance list at 31 December. So maybe just before we go there, it indicates that in addition to the errors made in the trade receivable control above, and investigation revealed the following. So actually, it's indicating that on the bullet point one that they think that the trade receivable balance it's supposed to be 16,060, not that closing balance of 7,587. And then when you go below on the second bullet, it indicates you that an amount of 115 rand, which was written off as a credit loss, has erroneously been added to the credit sales amounting of 48,165. So by looking to this 115 that you've just been told that it was added here on the credit loss, and we know that the credit loss supposed to be on the credit side because it is an estimation of the business that indicates that the business will have that kind of credit loss. So therefore, you know that from this credit sales that you have of 48,165, that means you must have a reduction of 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 115, and they are indicating that this entry has been posted correctly to the applicable account in the trade receivable ledger account. So therefore, which means now what you need to do is you need to deduct 115 from this 48 because these credit sales are overstated by this 115. And also you need to take this 115 and put it there. But obviously I'm going to illustrate it when I'm presenting it on the solution, but I'm just giving you the high level in terms of how these figures uh, uh, they linked. And then below that, it's indicating that there was the sales journal was overcasted by 420. So when they say a sales journal was overcasted by 420, which means it was overstated by 420. So therefore, which means from these credit sales that you have of 48,165, then you have to take into consideration that that means that there is another deduction that must be done on the balance of 48,165. And then below to the bullets, you are told that the credit sales of 170 was posted correctly to the sales account, and a trade receivable control account in the general ledger, but was not posted to the specific debtors account in the trade receivable ledger. So remember, when I started, I highlighted to say when you have an account at Macams or Truett, so you have an account, so that account is called the personal account as a debt. So basically, in this scenario, it's actually indicated that actually from the subledger on the individual account of the debtor. So this is why the error that was done, why it was not done correctly. And then when you go below on the another bullet point, it's indicating that there was a credit note number 003, which amounts to 70 Rand that was recorded correctly under sales returns journal, but posted to the wrong side of the personal account of the debtor in the trade receivable ledger. So obviously, in your mind, if they are saying it was posted in the wrong side of the personal account of the debt. So basically, a credit note supposed to credit must be on the credit side of your T account. So therefore, which means if they say they did it on they put it on the wrong side, that means that instead of putting it on the credit, they added again. So it was also on the debit. Therefore, that means that they are now you have got two duplication. So like for instance, it's like to say the company charged you 1,000 Rand, but the company was supposed to only to charge you only 900 Rand. But instead of that, the company, when it's correcting it, it's also add another 100 Rand on the debit side, which means now you are sitting with books that have a balance of 1,100. So now in this situation here, especially on the credit note number 003, so therefore there was a duplication of this 70. So that means the first one is that you need to remove what was wrong because they posted it in the wrong side. So its first one is to remove that 70, and then the second part is to do the correct part, which was supposed to be done initially, where you have to also credit that data personal account with 70 Rand. So which means in total, in this personal account of this data, a credit balance of 140 needs to be shown. But obviously, when we're going through the solution, you will be able to see it. But I just want you just to paint a picture for you whenever you go through each and every transaction. And then on another bullet, it indicated that trade receivable column in the cash receipts journal includes an amount of 195 rand, which was paying cash on the settlement discount received from the creditor. So obviously, that means that this amount of 195, it's not supposed to be part of this 45,495. So therefore, which means when you are putting this bank account on this credit side, you also need to deduct an amount of 195 on this account. And then the other bullet, it's indicating that there's a purchases journal that was undercasted by 718 Rand. Obviously, we know that we are not dealing with cost of sales. We are not dealing with inventories. We are not dealing with creditors control account. So therefore, we ignore because we are only focusing on the trade receivable account. And then below that, it's indicating to you that an account of 1,603 Rand for the freight on credit sales was received from Quick Transport. The cost of the freight must still be accounted for in the accounting record. So obviously for us, it's not important because here they are more talking about cost of sales and purchases. So obviously it's something for us, we are happy that the 1,603 Rand is already accounted correctly because we are focusing on the trade receivable account, which means the costing part, it's part which is dealing with inventory and cost of sales. So therefore, it's not important for us. And then the last bullet, colleagues, it's indicated that on the 1st of December 2001, the balance of trade payable control account amounted to 8,340. And also, if you look into this one, also you know that actually this information is not relevant for us because we are not dealing with trade payable account. We are only dealing with trade and receivable control account. So I'm not sure whether Tulani, I can move to the solution now, or maybe do you have any hands there? It's just that unfortunately I'm not able to see it because I've projected on another screen.
Okay, so far on the chart we have nothing, and then I don't see any hand so far.
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope everyone understands. Maybe I'm too fast. I will move colleagues to the solution. I'm just going to project the solution now. Can you confirm on your side there, Tulan, that you can able to see the screen?
Yeah, we can see what you projected.
Okay, so I think colleagues now, I'm trying to find a way how I'm going to able to, I don't know, I'm not sure the colleagues on their side, they are able to, they do have the question on their side just to see what actually I was talking about, because I'm trying to make sure that at least people, they just follow through what we're talking about. Maybe we can start with the debit side. So obviously we indicated that the balance is 16,050, which is the amount that is we have it here. Let me just use the screen so that it will be much more easier. If you go to the question, is it visible that I think maybe let me try another approach just to make it for easy reference. If you look, colleagues, here, I indicated to you that this is the balance, and the way it is actually posted correctly as an opening balance on the debit side. So obviously right now, when we are on the solution now, we are more focusing on the changes that we have made, because remember now we need to clean up this T account to be a T account that is actually representing the trade receivable control account. So if you go to, if I go back to the solution, here you can actually see that the adjustment that has been made, the only parts that we have is only sales, which is actually our credit sales of 48,000. If you remember, this 115 that was actually which I highlighted earlier on, which is relating to the amount that was relating to the credit loss, where it was added as part of the credit sales. And obviously, I indicated that this amount must be deducted on this 48,165. And we also need to make sure that we also disclose the 115 on the other side here, which is this part. So the deduction was done, and then the correct entry was passed here, which is supposed to be this part. And then after that, colleagues, if you remember, I highlighted that there was a sales journal that was overcast by 420, which means it was overstated. So it's a similar situation here. In this situation here, we on this account, let me just make sure that okay. Yeah, if you look at here, you can also see that 420 of 420 that was overstated has been deducted on this account. So basically, the correct reflection of your credit sales is 4768 if you take into account those adjustments. And then, colleagues, you remember that there was a bullet point which was highlighting the money that is discount that was received from settlement of goods, which was not supposed to be forming part, and we had to deduct it from 195. If I can recall the question, in that situation, it says trade receivable column on the cash receipt journal. It includes an amount of 195 paying a cash settlement discount received from the creditor. So obviously, we have to deduct this amount because it's not supposed to be there. So that is why the 195 has been deducted, and the correct reflection of the bank of settlement of our trade receivable, it's 45,300. So the 2,200 of the sales return, we just take it as it is, as it from the question, as it shows on the T account. Let me just go through it. Just show the question there, so that maybe for those who joined the class late, they can follow. If you look at the question here, you can actually see the sales returns of 222 0. So basically, we take it as it is because the entry was done correctly. And then let me just unshare. Then let me share again the solution. And then from there, colleagues, this is where you're going to able to calculate your closing balance, which means now you have to take into account your balance brought down, which is 16,000, your credit sales that amount to 47,680, and then you deduct the amount that you've received from the bank because this is a settlement, and then you also reduce it with the sales return, and then you also take into account the credit losses, which is 115. So obviously, it will give you a closing balance of 16,090. So basically, the correct balance that's supposed to be shown by our bookkeeper who did the error. This is the amount that was supposed to be shown, not that amount that was shown on the question, which was 70,587. I will still find the Tulani, or maybe do you have any, or there are any other question there?
I think we have two hands up that you can take for now. There is a hand that I'm going to recognize from Nkalala. Nkalala, I open your mic. You can ask the question, Mr. Nkalala.
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, Kalala, you can come in.
Can you please go to the question or the solution, either or? I want to make reference to that.
Okay. So must I go to the question or you want me to go to the solution?
Please go to the solution, please.
Okay, to the solution. Okay, let me just write in the solution and just give me a minute. Yes, Talala, I've just projected. Is it visible to you?
Yeah, it is. So my question is, since on the first T account of the trade receivables control, we had bank, and then of the amount of 45,300 and settlement discount granted of a certain amount. Why then do we record bank and settlement discount granted together but using the amount of bank?
So you are saying
question.
Yes, yes, Tulani?
All right. Oh no, just confirming if you got the question, because from my side I got it. I'm not sure if you understand this question.
It's so Talala, you can unmute so that I can just interact with you. So basically,
Okay,
we are saying on the bank. So we are saying on the amount on the bank, we've shown it on the credit side. So we also we were asking why we didn't also take into account the settlement granted.
Yes, but then we have said on the details that this bank and settlement discount granted, but we only used the amount for bank.
Okay. Let's just separate these two. Remember, this 195 and Talala, it's relating to us as Smart Bot Q receive a discount from our service provider or from our supplier. So basically, what we actually need to show here is when we are paying. So when we are paying now, we're going to be indicating to say on our purchases, we purchase goods that amount to 100,000. But however, we were giving a discount of 10,000, which means we end up paying 10,000. So basically, I'm trying to say that 195 and Talala is not in connection with trade receivable. It is relating to the purchases when we are purchasing from our service provider or from our suppliers. So hence we have to offset and deduct it because it is actually not a true reflection on what actually happened. Because the main thing here is that we need to do the correction as what is the question is indicating when they're required to say we need to correct. So in that regard, the 195 it is not relating to the trade receivable, but it is relating to trade payable. I don't know whether you get my point there.
Okay, so I don't have a problem with the minus 195, but I think my question was that when it came to the question itself, on the T account of the trade receivables that were given in the question, so there was bank and there was settlement discount granted. Those were two accounts with two different amounts, right? The 45,495, I think, was for bank, and settlement discount granted also had its own amount. So my question is, why are we saying bank and settlement discount granted, but only taking account the bank amount only?
Okay. Remember here, the settlement discount granted, it's us giving the settlement discount to our customers who are paying us on time. So we've already taken into account when we were doing our credits, when we were dealing with it. So basically, so the amount has already been taken into account. So the settlement discount granted has already been taken into account on this balance. I'm not sure whether you follow.
Oh, okay. So every time we are given the settlement discount granted, we just have to assume that on the bank is going to have been taken into account.
Remember, the customer is notified to say, Ntalala, since you've owed us 1,000 rand, and then because you settled before time, so basically that means that we can give you a 10% discount of 1,000, which means now the amount that we're going to be receiving as the bank amount, it will be 900, not 1,000 rand from you. Because remember now, we've already give you 100 rand discount. So I think that is where we have to able to analyze this part. So I think the thing here, if you look at it, obviously as you as a student, it will confuse a little bit. Maybe just to take you a little bit back. Obviously, someone when you see the bank's supposed to be on the debit side, which is a good one. But obviously here we are dealing with trade receivable, right? Which means here we need to put the bank on the credit side because we are saying from what the people they are owing us, but they've already paid us a certain portion. But I just want to give you a narrative, like to take you back from maybe some of those who don't, maybe who didn't follow, but just to answer your question, as I indicated to you, you owe 1,000, we give you 10%. That means when we receive the money from the bank, that means the money that you want to pay us is going to be 900. I'm not sure whether you are clear there.
Okay, I think I get it now. So basically you are saying that on the bank, the settlement discount granted that they've shown there is already included.
It's already been factored, yes, 100%.
Okay, so we just assume that every time.
No. Remember you I don't know, maybe Tulane, you can come in and maybe add more. But in generally, you remember this. Remember that for a settlement to take place in Ntalala, that means you have an intention and there is a payment that's already been made. There is a transaction that has been made. So hence we are saying settlement, because remember here when you look at 685, we are not only talking about one customer. We are talking about a consolidated customers which meet the criteria of getting a discount. And obviously they've already been factored in on that amount that you've received. Because we told you that as much as we know that you bought this thing on credit at $1,000, but because you are settling it early, in terms of our policy, that means the amount that you're going to recognize as a bank amount that we receive is going to be 900 rand. I'm not sure whether Tulani, maybe you have anything to add on that.
I think you have covered it, but I can just elaborate just quickly. Ne? So
no problem.
I think the confusion that Ntalala have is the fact that we are describing it as the bank and settlement discount. So it gives an impression that we are recognizing both and settlement discount on this line, of which is not correct. And you are right when you ask that are we always going to assume as such? The answer is no. So if you read this one specifically relating to this one on the additional information, they are saying that in the bank there was a 45,000. There was an amount that came in our bank, which was relating to the settlement by a debtor. So the debtor was paying us a money to settle his debt. So that money went in the bank. But they're saying that over and above that, we went on to pay a what you call a supplier. And the supplier gave us a settlement discount, which means that now, in the case where if maybe we had already paid, the supplier will give us a portion back to say that I'm giving you a settlement discount. So that money as well will go in the bank, which means that now our bank now is made up of what the money that we receive from the debtor and the money that we receive from the supplier for settlement discount is combined into two. And that total is about the 45,000. So now we are saying that, look, on our this trade on our case now, we are dealing only with a trade receivable, which means that now that part that relates to the discount that we receive from supplier, it must not form part of this. Hence, we are taking that portion out of the 45,000 45,000 because we know that the 45,000 is made up of those two transactions. We are taking it out. It's not that we are recognizing it here. We're not recognizing it out. We are taking it out. Hence now, that is just a description to say that it's a bank and settlement discount is combined in one. I hope.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense now.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Tulani. I'm not sure whether you still have hands.
Yes, we still have more hands. I think we have got about 3 hands. I'm going to recognize them by sequence. The first one who started it was Karawo Molawa. I'm going to recognize. I'm recognizing you, Karawo. You can come in. I opened your mic.
So can you please explain the balance? Where did you get the 16,059?
Are you referring to the opening balance, Karabo?
Yes, sir, the opening balance. Because in
the
spreadsheet it says that it is 16,059, but in the additional information they say that the total of the trade receivable it was amounted to 16,060.
All right, yeah. So this one, let me take this one quickly because it's also causing confusion. I've been responding in the chat because this is also causing confusion for everyone. So as you can see, guys, on the equation, the balance is 16,095. This is 16,095 is the correct balance. But when they went on the solution, there was a typo error there. Instead of saying 16,095, they said 16,059. Even when you add that movement, you will see that you are not. So can you project the solution in the meantime? I just want to.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. So when you cast the opening balance and the movement of 47,000, you will see that you are not getting that amount that is in there as the total. So when you say 16,059 plus 47,630, it doesn't give you 63725 because the 16,059 is wrong. It's supposed to be 16,095, not 59. So that one is a typo error. Are you happy, Karab?
Yes, I am happy.
All right, thanks. I'm going to recognize now Warona. Warona, you can come in.
Is Warona there?
Come in, Warona. Oh, okay. Sorry, Warona. I think I did.
Please ask for Waruna?
Yeah, you are unmuted.
I have the same question as Karabo because the first bullet point says that the balance at the end, the balance on the 31st of December is amounted to 16,060, but then here it says 16,090. So what happened to the 16,060?
Oh, okay. Can I take this one quickly as well? Because,
yes, go ahead, Tulani.
Yeah, because I can see it's also causing confusion as well in the chat there. So if you go, just here. Ne? So when you look on the first bullet point, right, it says the total of trade receivable balance as per the list of trade receivable. Ne? As per the list of trade receivable, right?
Yes.
It's amounted to 16,060, right? So the list of trade receivable, we just need to emphasize on that one. Remember here, we are dealing with the general ledger account. The general ledger account is the, what we call, is the, so there is a difference here. The general ledger account and the list of trade receivable is the list of the individual data that are owing us. So if we have data 1, data B, data C, so those are individual data. So they're saying that now the list of those individual data is giving us 16,060 at the end of the year, right? So now you need to also look at the date that this, when was this also given, because the 16,060 is given at the end of the month, of which I can also assume that is the end of the year. It's 31st December 20.1. Whereas the balance that we are comparing with of 16,095 is given when at the beginning of the month. So yes, at the end of the day, we should be in a position where this trade receivable general account must reconcile with that list. But then look at the dates that those balances are given. The other one is given at the end, the other one is given at the beginning. So it is not correct to compare this 16,060 and 16,095. And it will also make sense when now you are answering the second required where you are doing the reconciliation, because like I'm saying, this is balance for the for the individual data list, and this one is for the general ledger account. Remember, on the general ledger account, you are dealing with all transaction, irrespective of whether the transaction is already treated correctly in the individual data or what. But as long as it's dealing with the data, you have to then address it in the general ledger account. So it will make sense that when you look at the second required. I'm not sure if I'm.
So in this case, then we don't include the 16,060 in the ledger account.
Yes, you can't include it there. So if you look into it, like I'm saying, that you need to also consider the dates that the balances are given, right?
Yes.
You are given the balance at the end of the financial year. Whereas now what we are saying now with the 16,095, you are looking for the opening balance of this. Yes, at the end of the day, the list and the general must reconcile. But then this one, you can't use 1606. The moment you see it already, you know that this balance is given at the end. I'm looking for the opening balance.
Okay, so like Mike, I don't think you understand my question. I'm asking, do we include, like, whenever we given should we be given the list? Do we include the list in the ledger, or we don't? Like, that's what I want to know.
No, you can't include the list unless if the list what can I say, unless if the balance that you are given for the list, because here the confusion again is with relation to the time that the balance for the list you are given at, because like I'm saying, the list and the general ledger must agree. But in this case, yes, you can't use it because it's given at the end of the year, not at the beginning of the year.
Okay,
so you can't use.
So if it was given at the beginning, that's when you edit.
You can edit unless if there is any other information that will make you believe that this balance is not correct. But if the balance, there is not the question is silent, I will say you will have to use that balance.
Okay, thank you.
As the opening. Yes.
Okay, Tulani, I'm not sure I see, is it Lesedi? Or Warren?
I think the next question will be from Lesedi. Lesedi, you can come in.
Or maybe what we can do is Tulani, since we've already touched on the listing, why don't we just finalize the section B, and then we can just go through in the full swing on section A and B, because B is just a small part that talks about the list that I think Karaba was talking about now. maybe if I can just touch base on it, if maybe the colleague can just hang on just for 1 or 2 minutes, because this one is not going to take us long. It's just a matter of just to illustrate from the list that you've just indicated to say, yes, the list you can consider, but you must also consider other factors maybe that may result that even the list given, it may be understated or overstated. I'm not sure that maybe if maybe I can just go to section B, which is not long, because you can see on the solution here, we already been given the balance on that bullet point number 1. If maybe I can just refer back to the question, colleagues, because I just want to make sure that let's just cover everything, and then after that we can just go through all questions. Now we will know now that we've already covered all the other elements. The only thing that we are dealing with now is the clarity seeking question, where people they need more clarity. So, like for instance, colleagues, here in the situation here, you are given a balance on this first bullet point, which indicates that the total trade receivable balance per list of trade receivable at 31 December, it amounted to 1620. And the required question on the part B, it says prepare a reconciliation of the total of the list of trade receivable balance with a final balance of trade receivable control account as calculated in question A. So obviously the answer in question A is the correct answer, because the answer of question A is that amount that obviously that will be showed as a closing a balance of that 69. I'm just focusing more on the solution, although there are typos and errors, but let's just focus more on the principle to say at this point in time, if you can look in the solution here, you can actually see that you've got this 16060 that you are given in the question, and then you are told that on the question that a credit sales of 170 was posted correctly on the sales account, and the trade receivable control account in the general, but was not posted to the specific debtors account in the trade receivable account. So hence you can see now a reconciliation is being done where we are taking into account the balance given, which is 16060. Let's just focus on the principle. We know that there was a typos there and there. The amount given was 16060. And obviously, we need to add into account the 170 that was omitted from the specific debtors account. And then after that, colleagues, we go back to that credit note number 003, which I indicated, and I'm going to read it to you again. That credit note number 003 for 70 Rand was recorded correctly in the sales returns journals, but posted to the wrong side of the personal account of debtors in the trade receivable. And I indicated and making an example to you to say we've overcharged someone maybe by 100 Rand, but instead of doing that, we are also posting it on the opposite side, which means we are also raising a debt again. So basically, if maybe the amount that was supposed to be charged to someone was 900, but obviously initially we charged the person 1,000 Rand. So 100 Rand of credit note must be passed, which means that the balance must be sitting at 900. But on this situation, when we were correcting the credit note was posted where on the debit side, which means now the amount now is no longer at 1,000 Rand, now it's 1,100. So now in order to correct it, we first have to deal with what we did wrong, where we posted things wrong on the opposite side of that 100. Obviously, in this case, it's 70 Rand that we have to deduct it and remove it back, reduce it on the receivable balance. And then we also have to do the right thing now, which is 70 Rand that was supposed to be done of 70 Rand. So hence you can see there is this reduction of a return, which total to 140, which you can see the balance below of 16090 is tying up with the closing balance on section A. But I'm going to take it back to you, Tulani, because I think you did cover the the reconciliation on the trade receivable. So I think now we can now open the question to everyone so that they can come in. You can go back to section A, you can go back to section B, but I think for now, I think the purpose was to make sure that at least now, since it's 7 o'clock, at least we've covered everything on the question and on the solution. Now we are dealing with a clarity question and other principle things or where you find that maybe you need some clarity on. So I think, Tulan, you can take the hands now. I think we've covered everything. We can just explain one by one in case if anyone is raising any question. Thank you. You can take us over, Tulan.
All right, yeah, we do have a few hands and then some questions on the chat. I want to recognize Trudy because the hands has been up. So Trudy, you can come in. I have opened your mic. Trudy? Hi, Trudy. Okay, for some reason, I don't know why Trudy is not coming in. I will recognize the next person. I think on the list, I see Karao. You can come in, Karao.
Is there a connection issue maybe from the colleagues on the site? Or maybe there is I think there's Pila. You can unmute Pila.
Okay, let's unmute.
Good evening, sir.
Hi,
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, when it comes to the sales returns correction, did we overcharge the data twice? Is that why we multiplying it by 2?
Are you referring to the? Oh,
the
okay.
140.
The 141.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know. You want to take it to line or must I come in on this one?
I think I can take it. I can take it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Pila, what happened with this one? The reason why we are multiplying it twice is because you had an instance where the data was owing you, and then you went on to issue a credit note of of 70 rand. Credit note meaning that you wrote off 70 rand, meaning that what you were supposed to do was to reduce the debtor's balance with 70 rand. But instead, you didn't reduce it. Instead of reducing, you added, meaning that now that data now went up. So now, the reason now you are multiplying it with 2 is because now you are faced with a situation where you have to minus it twice. Firstly, you have to correct the error that you did instead of minusing you added. And then after minusing, then it means that now you will remain with the initial amount that was there before you issue a credit note. Then now the second leg now is to reduce it according to how it was supposed to be reduced. Hence now you are multiplying it to show that you have to minus it twice. I'm not sure if you are.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. I will recognize Karabo again. Karabo, can you come in?
I want to know the difference between the transactions that are regularly the trade and that we are going to the homepage.
Yo, I can't hear you. I'm not sure if I can hear you, but from my side, I can't hear anything.
I It's like I want to know the difference between the transactions that you are going to record on the trade receivables control and also on the reconciliation. Like, is the reconciliation standard set? Are we recording the sales, the returns corrections, and adding them with the sales?
Or you want to know what informs transaction that will go on the recon and the transaction that will go on the general?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Should I take this one, Seshe?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine to run. You can come in. It's okay. I will also come.
All right. So on this one, yeah. So yes, the guidance in terms of which transaction must go on the general and which must go on the recon. Like I indicated before, to say in the general ledger, we are dealing with all transactions, and then we don't even consider whether the transaction have been because remember the individual debtors account is a sub module in the whole general ledger account. So what we are trying to do here is that we want to be in a position where the list of our debtors and the general ledger account agrees, right? So now the first point that we are doing here is to compare the closing, but to say what on the general we're closing with 160990, and then now on the list that we are given, they are saying that the balance that we have on that date, it was 16060. So which means that already we can see that we have a problem, because those two must agree, because the individual debtors list module is the sub module in the general ledger account itself. So which means that now those two must balance. So now in terms of what then will inform the transactions, you can see that the 16090 is what we calculated, and we are saying this is correct, right? So now, for us to be able to identify which transactions, we know that the errors that happened now, or the differences now, are sitting in the sub-module itself. Hence, when now we read the required, we are only looking at the errors that happened in the sub-module or in the specific debtors account, and then to correct those errors. So in terms of the format, again, for reconciliation, I can't say you have a standard format for doing it. But at the end of the day, you have to demonstrate how you corrected or how you reconciled or agreed the truth. So there is not really a standard format of doing it. I am not sure if you are covered, Kara. You are not covered.
Yes,
I think.
I want to ask at the sales returns. Yeah? In the general ledger, we had the sales returns of 2,220. And
Yes.
in the additional information, we said that that sales return was recorded correctly in the sales returns journal, but posted to the wrong state of the personal account of the data in the trade receivables journal. So I don't understand, because I saw the sales returns in the ledger, and now that 70 rand is it not going to affect that sales returns journal? Because they said that the 70 rand was recorded correctly in the sales return journal.
Okay. Oh no, yeah, I hear you. So what's happening? You will see that on the general ledger account, the 220, we didn't touch it, because on the information there was nothing to make us believe that there was an error in the 220, right? And they are also telling us that the 70 rand was recorded correctly. It was recorded correctly in the sales return journal, right? So meaning that now they are also confirming that in the 220 it was fine. But now the problem happened now when we were posting it in the individual data module. Like I said, that now you will have the general in the general where you don't really consider everything that has to do with the data. You will account it there in the general. But now there is a individual data module that then now anything that is dealing with that data, you will have to then allocate it in those sub-module. But now on this one, the 70 Rand, they are specifically telling us that now there was an error when posting it in the individual data module. And so now we needed to correct it there so that these receivable list can balance with the general. So far it's not balancing because of this error. Because in the general it was treated correctly, but in the list it was treated incorrectly. That resulted in our thing not balancing.
Are you covered, Karabo?
Yes, okay. So, sir, which additional which information that will affect the sales in the account of the trade receivable? Like, if maybe will there be something that will there be something that will say that you to correct the sales returns or what?
No.
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. You want to come into Tulan?
I know I didn't get the question.
Yeah, but I think maybe just to come at a high level, Karabo. If you look at the 2,220, as what Tulani was saying, it says that the entry has been taken correctly. But obviously, right now, in the situation on the additional information, you are presented with a list of trade receivable. And obviously, now you can look after you've done your calculation on subsection A that actually my listing that I have is actually not tying up with what is actually my closing balance. So obviously, remember as what Tulani always mentioned to say the sub module. Remember each and every day, it's a transaction, Karabo. You treat each and every data with each and every transaction to say this one paid this, how much was charged, was it correct or not? And then obviously, when you look it at a control account, now we are looking at a balance point of view or at a consolidated, which we are saying at a consolidated level, everything has been factored on the 2,220. But now, maybe what is confusing you is that is, remember, initial, in the nutshell, we should not actually having this 70 times 2 or 170, whatever that is there. If maybe the bookkeeper didn't do some errors on this calculation, like for instance, your listing supposed to be 16,090, 16,090 rand, supposed to be. Therefore, you can see that, okay, the listing that is there is actually tying up with my closing balance that I actually did when I was doing my calculation. Obviously, what happened is, remember, you go individual debts and debt, and then you transfer it to the control account. A control account is actually a consolidated account of all accounts receivable, not only individual data. Not to say maybe this is a data A and data B. So it's just to say all the total debt or total sales return that happened in that particular period. And we are saying this has been factored in, but however, from individual point of view, something didn't go right. So I think this is what we need to distinguish between the two. So basically what it's saying is that from Tulani's explanation, the sub module was not done right. But at the control level, everything was accounted for. I don't know whether you are clear there or maybe I'm confusing you more.
I'm clear, sir.
Okay. No, it's fine.
I'm
Tulani,
clear,
is there
yes.
any other hand?
And I want to ask something, sir,
okay.
about the settlement account. I saw that in the solution, we only included 95 and the 195. So I don't know whether about 685. Are we not taking that into consideration?
Okay. Remember, if I may come in, Tulani, remember when I was explaining, going through the question, Karabo, I think it's Ntalala. I'm sorry if maybe I pronounced the name wrong. Remember now we said basically the settlement discount granted. So this has already been taken into account. So this is what actually been shown. Unless you are told that it was not being factored in, then therefore you can reflect it. Because maybe in some of the exercises on the starting unit 9, maybe you can see where the grant, the settlement discount was not affected, but you are just being told that Mr. So and so has paid this man and he qualifies for a discount of this. But in this situation, basically, because in accounting, remember, we have to have all the information recorded. So basically, it's indicating to you that this 685 obviously has been taken into account. But remember, for you to get a settlement discount granted or settlement, you need to make a payment. So in this situation, you, Karabo, instead of delaying the payment or you paid us early, therefore we granted you a discount, and then we are reflecting it to say uh, this is the amount that was granted to Karabo as part, but obviously the amount has already been effected on it.
Jesus. Thank you, sir.
I think there's exercise 9.5. Maybe you must also, if you have time, just go through it and look at it, because the way how the questions are being posed, they're quite differently. Maybe you can look from there and then you expect that, because in that exercise they showed like that. It's because here in this situation we have to consider that obviously now we've got money that has been received, and obviously those people have already taken into account that particular discount. Unless maybe Tulani wanted to add somewhere there.
I don't want to add anything beside the fact that in the additional information we were not given more information with regards to the settlement discount, and then because of the fact that in a normal way you will understand that now if you sold something and then now you were given a discount, it means that now whatever that we are going to pay is only going to be the difference. And then hence now in our solution, we are not even thinking about it, because we are saying in the bank we received 45,000. So we'll assume that the 45,000 is already a net of settlement discount, unless if it's stated otherwise in the additional information, then we'll consider it. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Tulan. I think maybe before, I saw the hand of Warona. I think colleagues, they need to pay very attention to additional information, something that will correlate with what is already been provided to you on the question. Remember, as I indicated, the first part is you read your required. First, you look at the T account to see what is presented to you, and then as what Tulan is saying, and then if something is not actually being mentioned on the additional information, obviously we all know that that means everything is already been well taken off. But I think Tulana have saw some other hand. I don't know that maybe we can also get more hands, because I think we still have enough time. Colleagues, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, this is is it Warona?
Yes.
Okay, you may come in, Warona.
This isn't related to the questions, but I want to ask, isn't there a register for this class?
A register.
Yes.
I think maybe our lecture may assist us on this matter. I'm not sure, maybe, but I'm speak under correction. Maybe Tulani, you can have an answer on this one. I'm not sure in terms of the administrative process. But what I can indicate to you, Warona, is that the meeting is recorded. It will have a true reflection of the student that actually did attend this class. I don't know. Maybe I don't know whether maybe Clara, you have anything to say, but I don't see any point. I think the by showing of attendance and having this meeting being recorded, I think it's more sufficient enough, unless maybe there are any other administrative process, maybe from UNISA side point of view.
Yeah, no,
Okay?
Mr. Mkhokon just confirmed that there is no attendance register for this class.
Okay. No, so I hope, Warona, you are covered.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Tulani.
Right. In the meantime, I will recognize Wulisani. Wulisani, you are recognized.
Yes, evening, sir.
Hi, Wuli.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Yeah, you were fine, but now for some reason now we can't hear you anymore.
I
Yeah.
just want you to clarify something. You were trying to clarify it, but at my side I had a problem of networks to leave the but I missed one. The last so I didn't hear the error that we were talking about. I can say there is a error, but I'm lost now that which balance are we using? The opening balance. Are we using 16,059 or is 16,0? Or then if that is 60, that means that it was presented here. It means it's all wrong, so that I can make it out with the correct one.
I'm struggling to hear. Did you get the question?
Did you get my question?
I think she is, if I may.
Hello.
Correctly, I think Wulisan is asking to say, is referring to your clarification, which you said you've covered. It's when you were dealing with on the chat box about the 16,059 and 16,095. Come again, Wulisan?
Yes, you heard me. That is what I wanted. I missed the explanation because of network. That is what you get my question. I just want the clarification, the clarity of that amount to the which is the
No, but I think you get the context behind the tab Tulan, just to say from the 16,095 and the 16,059. So I think you want you just to maybe to come to explain again. Can you hear me, Tulan?
Yeah, I can hear you. So that one we said it's a typo error because on the question we were given 16,
please.
but on the solution they swapped it around. They said 16,059. So it was a typo error, that one.
Okay, which means this T account of trading receivable are controlled by 16,060, not 16,059.
I lost you there.
Okay, I think let's just deal with this one. Okay, initially we are talking about 16059 and 16095. I think maybe because now I see now we are moving to 16060 now.
Yes.
So which one are you referring to, Wilson?
I'm referring to this one, the opening balance.
Oh, he's talking about the 16059 and 16095. Yes. So Tulani is indicating that. So it was a typo error on the solution.
Oh.
Yeah. So that one we said it was a typo error, but then
I miss him. Well, is
I think you've got I think your connection it's not right there.
Thank you.
But I hope you are covered, and I hope Tulani did provide a response on the chat box. If
Thanks.
maybe you need further clarity, but you also can I think engage us on the Telegram. I think there's a platform there. If there are any other further question, other than that, Hulisani, are you covered?
Okay, Wilson, you can come back again if you are still not covered. We just need to take other questions.
Okay, Tulan, I think you can monitor it because on my side, since I'm presenting, I hardly see the hands.
Yeah, so I'm recognizing Dineo. Dineo, you can come in. I opened your mic.
Hi, I'm sorry, but I actually have a question that's more related to the assignments than the specific content that was given to us today. I sometimes struggle with understanding the language used in the assignments because because I'm kind of still new as in the accounting field, when certain things are phrased differently, I kind of struggle to understand what is required. So I'm not sure if maybe there is like a resource that I can use that'll give me like I don't know, a broader definition of certain phrases that are frequently used so that I have a better time analyzing the question before I actually attempt the answer.
Or else we will, I think Mr. Mokokon is still on the platform. He can answer this one since it's related to the module overall, not the specific question.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe I think it will go that way if maybe he can able to assist us on that. But maybe just before he can comes in, Dineo, in short, let me first allow him to just to come in as a person that is a actual lecturer that's led the module, and then maybe we can add there and there.
Good evening, colleagues.
Good evening, sir.
Can the student repeat the question?
Dineo, you may come in again.
Dineo?
I'm not sure, Mr. Mokobon, whether maybe, I don't know whether maybe she's coming there, or maybe Tulani, you've got also other hands.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know why she's not coming because I disabled the mics. But then the question that she was asking is with relating to the confusion. that when she takes on assignments, she struggles with the language. I think more on terminologies because she's new in the accounting field. So she wanted to check if there is no any resources that she can then just browse through so that she can familiarize herself with the terminologies that are used in the field before she then attempt those assignments.
Okay, can Dineo send us an email on FAC 1502@unisa.ac.za, or she can organize a Teams meeting with us so that we can explain the principles. Because the transaction will not be the same as the transaction in the study unit, but they addressed the same principles in this. They addressed the same principle as the. What I'm saying is the question that the transaction, the assessment will address the same principles as the questions in the assessment, as the question in the study guide.
Okay.
Noted, sir. I think the message is it's well received, loud and clear. I think at the inside, as you said, sir, is more to do more practice. Obviously, you have to do the questions, but I think, as you indicated, if maybe she can just schedule a Teams meeting with yourself as well as your colleagues, you may able to assist. But I think the most of the time, and in my experience and knowledge, is that the more you invest in trying to do questions in your own, not looking at a solution, the more you start to understand the terminology. Obviously, the exam, obvious as the lecture indicates, it will change a little bit there and there. But I think what is critical is the fundamental principle that you know that's what's supposed to be here and what not supposed to be there. When you are asked each and every question, either it's a trade receivable control account question that you are asked, you know what must be there and you know that must not be there. And obviously, the required is quite critical whenever you are doing any accounting question because it is actually outlining you to know exactly what you need to do. And then when you go through additional information, it actually will provide a reference to say, based on what has been provided to you, what actually really happened, and then you can actually able to make those changes there and there. But I think the lecture has indicated that she can just reach them out, and then I think the meeting can be scheduled. But I think I would advise Dineo just to practice and also to participate in those group discussion forum from the e-tutor platform, and also those what you call it, ask those questions on those social medias that we've used I think this time to make it easier for everyone to understand, because we do understand that some of you are coming from a different background. They've never done accounting at the high school level, and it's a first time. And obviously, there are certain terminology, but believe me, practice always makes perfect. The more you do it, it's like mathematics. The more you get used to do practice and exercise and mark yourself, you get to able to start to understand the different method, because the same thing can be asked in different ways. I'm not sure what I find there. I think Tulani, you can take over with the hands.
Yeah, so there are more hands. There was a hand from Travis, but I see now it has gone down. I will recognize Feduned. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Petrus, you can come in.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sorry for the noise in the background. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, you are audible.
Awesome. All right, guys. So on the credit side of that general ledger, the trade receivables control, I'm just not sure how you got to the bank and settlement discount granted that amount, where you got the 195, and I'm not sure why that is on the credit side of the trade receivables control, because I know the discount granted and so on, or the way I see it, that needs to increase your bank. And I know that bank increases at on the debit side.
Okay. Do you want to
I
take
don't know
it?
whether I might come in there or you may come into that because I just wanted to illustrate it to you.
Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember,
So,
Peter, the reason why we're putting it on the credit side, it's simply because, yes, you are right, bank is an asset, it also increase on the debit. Yes, when we are dealing with the situation where we received money, you will see bank increasing. But now, here, we are preparing a trade receivable, what we call a T account, not bank T account. So we have, the reason why now we are putting this bank on the credit is simply because you will understand that with regards to receivable, because receivable is an asset, so any increase on receivable will be on the debit side, yes. Any decrease on receivable will be on the credit. So now the question is, what increases receivable and what decreases receivable? Our receivable will increase firstly with us selling to the customer by credit. That will increase our receivable. Then we'll post that transaction on the debit. But what will decrease our receivable is when now the debtor come and cycle the debt, meaning that they're giving us money. Yes, it's an asset, but that money that they're giving us is reducing their debt, their debt, meaning that now is reducing our receivable. Hence, we are posting it on the credit side. But then on the, because it's these transactions must be a two-way. So when you do, it's supposed to be a two-way. So yeah, this one is specifically with regard to receivable, but the very same amount of 45 that you are seeing on the credit here, you will see it on the debit when you are doing the debtors, the bank control account. I'm not sure if you are covered. I just want to pause there.
Yes, so it does make sense. I'm just not sure why that. Yeah, I understand that the settlement discount granted is going to obviously decrease how much we receive. But why is the amount posted so large? Why is it 45,300? I'm just not sure how we got to that calculation.
okay, maybe just to add on what Tulane has said. I think here now we are more focusing on the 195 rand. And if you look at the question, maybe let me just project it for you for the benefit so that at least we can just see what we are referring to. So if you look in the question here, they said a credit sales of was posted correct on the sales account and no, which one that I'm referring to Tulani, it's which now 195, right?
It's 195, yeah, that 195, yes. Just
it's,
down there. Yeah,
oh,
one.
here. Okay, this one. So you see here, if you look here on this question, they say on the trade receivable column in the cash receipt journal, it includes an amount of 195 of paying a cash settlement discount received from the creditor. So remember here now, it's us who get that benefit of 195. So, but remember here, say we are more focusing on trade receivable. And this 195 is relating to the trade payable control account. So hence it has to be reduced because already it's already been accounted for when it was when we were paying or when we were settling the creditor. That is where we get that benefit. I'm not sure whether you understand the principle there.
So just to sum up, if I understand it correctly, so we credited that amount in the trade receivables column, minus the 195 settlement discount we gave, and then we would debit the bank amount with that until we saw the solution. And I'm speaking.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So basically, what we are trying to say, we are saying the 195, which was a cash settlement discount that was received from the creditor, should not form part on that amount of cash on the bank amount that we received. Remember the amount that we received that is shown by the inexperienced bookkeeper, it's 45,495. From this 45,495, from it, there's 195 which is relating to a settlement cash discount that we received from the creditor. So which means the person that we are also doing business, which means the one that we are owing. So we settle them. Remember, it's like us when we encourage those who are paying us on time, we give them discount. So it's a situation like that on the other side now. To say, on this amount that is reflected on the bank, we've reflected something that's actually not was supposed to be shown as part of payment made by our debtors or our trade receivable. I don't know whether you understand the distinction between the two.
Yes, I do understand. It's just once we've minus that 195, the discount warranted. I'm not sure why we don't reflect that difference on the debit side. It just still doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, look. We remember here we are not talking about a bank account. We are on the trade receivable account. That is why we are not showing it on the debit side, because the debit side here, as Tolani said, is only going to be made by credit sales, right? That is the only debit side that can go under trade receivable. But we are right if we were dealing with a bank account to show that it's a cash that comes in. But in this situation, we are only focusing on the trade receivable account, which is an account that we know that when our assets are increasing, it means it's because we are selling it on credit, because the journal entry, when we are selling it on credit, we debit trade receivable and then we crediting sales account, which is an income account from statement of financial performance. So now when we receive money from those people that we are selling them on credit, what we do now is we need to reduce the trade receivable, because the people that are no longer owing us 100,000, because now I'm just making an example now. We made a credit sales of 100,000, which means we've debited a trade receivable with 100,000, and then we credited sales with 100,000. Now, when they pay us 70,000, so the accounting entry that will be passed, it will be to say we're going to debit the bank with 70,000, and then we're going to credit trade receivable with 70,000, which means now the trade receivable balance will be sitting at 30,000. So I'm not sure whether we are you with me? Here we are not focusing on the bank here. We are on the trade receivable account. But the principle that you are saying that the bank must increase, yes, the bank will increase there, but that entry was passed when you were doing it, when you were doing entry relating on the trade payable side point of view. So in this situation here on this question, we are just asked to do a correction or to correct the balance so that everything that's reflected is actually relates to trade receivable account. I'm not sure whether my brother are we together there.
Yes, I'm with you. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think Tulani, you can tell me if maybe there are any other hands. Tulani?
There is a hand from Refumelo Glory Mukavela. I've recognized you,
Yes.
Refumelo, you can come in.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Hi, sir. Hi, everyone. Okay, I think I understand this question based on the second, what's this? Second assignment. So my question is with the assignment, because I was reviewing the second assignment, and what I noticed is that the non-applicable and the zero sign, some of them have 1 mark given to those columns or those text boxes. So what I heard before was that there won't be marks allocated to them, so we can even leave them empty. So now I want to know that should we now consider putting like the non-applicable, the zero sign, do those have marks? Like what's happening? Because I'm not understanding. When I was reviewing my assignment, there was a lot of marks given to those text boxes. Thank you.
So then you can take this one.
This one, I think the best person to answer will be Mr. Mukokoni.
Good evening. There will be a mark. There will be not a mark. There will be maybe a right mark on the zero or not applicable column, but the mark, the right mark will not count towards the final mark of assessment. If you are saying the question is 12%, the system will mark all the columns, but on the system we put the question at 12 marks and will not count the zero column and not the applicable column. The zero column and not applicable column will not count towards your mark for each assessment. Yeah, it's just
No,
how
but
the
then,
system set it.
no, on the bank reconciliation mark, the one for 42, I got everything right except for putting that trade receivable. I was supposed to put the name, and on the bank reconciliation, I forgot to put what's this, the negative signs, but everything is correct. But I got 33 out of 44, out of 42, which means
like you are
those zeros
saying,
were counting.
maybe the answer is minus 5,000. You are saying
Yes,
you
I
put
forgot to
positive
put
5,000.
yes.
Yeah,
So that
that
one
is
I
incorrect.
understand. Yes, that one I
That is
understand.
incorrect.
So
Yes,
it's
because
only for the king 2 ones. So I only got 3 incorrect answers on the 42 marks, but I got 33 out of 42. So
remember, the other column, it will be 3 marks. For example, on the bank reconciliation, the other
yes.
column, maybe the other amount counted 3, the other amount counted 3 marks, the other amount counted 2 marks. Like if maybe the amount there, maybe let's say the amount is 10,000 and 10,000 consists of 5,000 plus 5,000, then it will be 2 marks. But if you put 5,000, then you will get your 1 mark. But if you put 10,000, you will get your 2 mark. But on the bank reconciliation itself, it will show you 1 mark. It will show you 1 correct. It will show you 1 right mark. I'm not sure whether I'm clear or not.
No, I don't think I'm getting you. So you're saying it will say it's out of 1. However, in the background, it's out of 3.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Maybe can you post your email address so that maybe I can just try to like explain to you and show you a screenshot. Maybe you can try clarify it outside the meeting.
Send your screenshot to fac1502@unisa.ac.za.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm sure you didn't get all the marks.
No,
because
no.
if you received all the marks, it will say 42 over 42.
No, I didn't like I'm saying that I forgot to put minus sign, so that one I do understand, but everything else is correct.
Okay, send us an email on fac1502@unisa.ac.za and send you a screenshot.
Okay, thank you.
or you can call us, and our contact details are in tutorial letter 101, and also on
Okay.
announcement 48.
Okay, no problem. I call via Teams, right?
Yeah, you call via Teams. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
All right, that's fine. I can recognize on the floor. I'm recognizing Wanga Mudau. Yes, you can come in, Wanga. Hi, Wanga, you can come in.
Good evening.
Hi, Wanga.
So I want to ask if it's possible to make the assessment maybe 3 hours, because I feel like 2 hours is very small if I'm alone.
Okay, Mr. Mokon, you can take this one also.
Like on assessment 2, we gave students extra 23 minutes. Even on the next assessment, next week, assessment 3, we are going to give them extra 25 minutes. I
Okay,
don't
thank
think
you, sir.
the issue is the time. Maybe the issue is the student, they are not prepared before they open the assessment. That's why I'm always saying, before you write the assessment, you must know your work, because there's no need for you to go back and refer to the study units. Otherwise, the system will submit for you. I think 2 hours is enough, because we are giving you extra 20 to 25 minutes. Instead of giving you 1 hour, maybe instead of giving you 1 hour, 40 minutes, we added another 20 minutes to make it 2 hours.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bye. Then I want to answer this one. Is the assessment is only one attempt, and the other attempt will be for your elective assessment. That's why we are saying it's only 2 attempts. The first attempt is for compulsory assessment, and the second attempt is for your elective assessment. That's why we are giving 1 attempt for each assessment.
Okay, I think that was clear, Mr. Mukokoni. Yeah, let me continue to take other questions. I'm going to open to recognize Flora on the line. Flora, you can come in.
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Flora.
Thank you, sir. I just want to check if I'm still on the same page, and also check if I understand correctly what's happening here on trade receivables control account. So the bank, for it to be on the credit side. Okay, let me first start with the credit sales. Is it okay for me to say that the credit sales increase the trade receivable controls account, hence they are on the debit side?
Is correct, yes.
Okay, and then you said for the bank to go on the credit side, it is because we received that money. So meaning the credit sales are going to be decreased, right?
Yes, your receivable is going to decrease. It's decreasing your receivable.
So that is why we put the bank on the credit side.
Yeah, that's true. Anything that is increasing receivable, it must go on the credit.
Okay. Also, the settlement discount granted.
Remember, the settlement discount granted in a normal way, it's not even supposed to be anywhere in our receivable. The only reason today we included it is because the inexperienced bookkeeper combined it with the money that was received from the debt. Hence now we are taking it out because it's not supposed to be there. It's not related to receivable.
Oh, yes. I think I remember that when I was going through study unit 9, they actually said it is normally like not included, but it is summarized under bank, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Plus also, is it
because
that output? Hello, sir, can you hear me?
I lost you there. I lost you there.
I was just confirming what you were saying about a settlement discount granted.
Or you referring to settlement granted? I thought you are referring to the settlement received that is on the credit side. Oh,
No,
okay.
the granted.
Or you referring to 685? Yes. So
Yes.
remember now, the settlement discount granted in this case, when you receive the settlement discount, you receive the settlement discount after the credit sales has happened. So now, so now in this case, we didn't include it here because we were never told that the payment that we received from the we assume that the payment that we received was already net of the settlement discount granted, because the settlement discount granted is what we are giving to the debt.
Okay, meaning it has already been considered.
Yeah, it has already been considered.
Okay, no, I
And
understand.
it was accounted correctly so.
Okay, no, I understand. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thanks. I will recognize on the floor Ferdinand. Yeah. You can come in, Mr. Ferdinand.
Yes, I wanted to ask, in preparation for assignment or assessment 3 and assessment 4, since those assessments basically cover all the study units, are there any exercises that include questions from all the study units that we could prepare? Then basically we could just maybe see like where we need to go into the study units individually, just to sharp up on certain topics.
Okay, so this one also I will, because it is more to do with the admin, I will give it to Mr. Mkokon to see if they've made those arrangements. Mr. Mkokon, can you take this one?
Yes, I think there are enough questions under additional resources, e-tutor questions, and also the questions from revision exercise from study units are there enough to prepare you for the last assessment, which is assessment 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yes, I understand. I just want to know, are there any exercises that include content from other units? Unit 1 up until unit 17.
Yes, questions under additional resources, they covered all study units. If you go to under additional resources, for each study unit, there are questions and answers.
Yes, I understand. I just mean that if you go into unit 3, for example, there's only questions containing that unit specifically. So I want to know if there are any exercises that contain questions of all the units. So, for example, one PDF containing questions of unit 1 up until unit 17 in preparation for the last 2 assessments.
Oh, we don't have extra questions. It's only those questions from study units and those questions under your study units. There's no extra questions. Only those questions that are under study units and also under additional resources are enough to cover you for the last three how many assessments? The last 5 assessments. Are you answered?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm going to recognize Palesa on the floor. Palesa, you can come in. Hi, Palesa. Okay, since Palesa cannot come in, I will recognize Tumelo. You can come in, Tumelo.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Hi, Tumelo.
I want to ask about elective assessment. Like, if like I failed assessment too, so I want to know if this elective assessments will be the same as assessment or they'll be different.
I will, Mr. Mkokon, I will also give this one to you.
What do you mean the same? You mean the same structure?
Like the same structure, like we'll find a bank reconciliation for elective assessment for assessment 2. It's assessment 5, right?
Yes,
So
the placement is elective assessment 5 for assessment 2.
Yes, so in elective assessment, you'll find the question for bank reconciliation, like we got as the same question from assessment 2.
No, because remember elective assessment 5, it will be from study unit 1 to study unit 10. It will be like assessment 2, but maybe you'll get the different questions because we can take any questions from study unit 1 to 10. Maybe bank reconciliation will be there, maybe it will not be there. But what you must do, just prepare study unit 1 to 10 for elective assessment 5.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. I'm going to recognize Homotso. Homotso, you can come in.
Evening, sir. I just have a question on the recording. Where can we find the recording? Is it also going to be uploaded on the YouTube or under announcements?
On our YouTube channel, and the link will also be under our announcement.
Okay, no problem, sir. And then my second question is, just for clarification, the assessment is going to be 2 hours, not 2 hours and 25 minutes, right?
It will be 2 hours.
Okay, thank you.
With extra, maybe, we gave you extra 20 minutes on the assessment. It will take you 1 hour, maybe 1 hour, 35 minutes to write it, but we said, let's give extra 25 minutes to make it 2 hours.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm going to recognize Palesa. Palesa, your hand is still up. Can you come in? Okay. All right, there is no more hands because Palesa the hand just disappeared. I don't see any hand, and then on the chat, I don't see anything that we haven't answered. But if there are still more questions, we can quickly ask them, and then we'll answer before we close.
Sir, I just forgot, sir. I wanted to ask about the recording for study unit 10. I see it's not on YouTube. Is there any way that we can get a hold of it? Inventory, I think it's inventory.
There's no recording on study unit 10. There's no recording on inventory. It's only recording on study unit 7.
Okay, no problem.
Before we close, I see something just popping in the chart. We say the debit side and the credit side are not corresponding. I'm not sure. Can you come in, Angel, to ask this question? I don't think I get you the question. I just unmuted you. You can just quickly come in just to clarify what you're asking, Angel.
I think Tulani, it looks like there's an answer below from Flora that says I think it's because of the typo error that happened in one that opening balance. I think maybe this is because of that. Maybe the time when you were explaining and then when we were covering, maybe she was still trying to connect. I think maybe at that time. But I think outside of this platform, I think we are available to assist anytime. They can pop up a question. We are there to able to make sure we assist everyone. I see the hand from the lecture. You may come in, sir.
Yes, there will be another class, the last class tomorrow, which is covering study unit 11. And the student must refer to announcement. It's announcement 38 or 39. We sent it around 28 March. That will be our last class before assessment 3. Tomorrow from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m.
Thank you, sir. Tulani, I'm not sure whether maybe we have come to the end of the class now. I see some of the questions are more administratively. I think on my side, I want to thank the opportunity from the team for giving us an opportunity just to come and try to explain. As we indicated, as the lecture indicated, there's a class tomorrow, and there also a social media platform which you can also post some question there and there. And I think, I think that's all on my side. I want to thank you very much for the opportunity, for listening to us as well as the question. And we just hoping you all the best for assessment number 3. I'm not sure on your side anything from you, Tulani.
Nothing much, but from my side as well, I would like to thank you guys for joining this class and then also for your participation. And like we said, we understand that 2 hours is not enough to roll out these discussions. But then if there are still any clarity that you seek, we are available in all those platforms. You can quickly leave a chat there, either through my UNISA or the social media platform that we are available, and then we'll answer those questions as they come. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues, for your attendance. I will propose for the closure. So I think we can adjourn. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.